Hi, it's Nicola Bird from alittlepeaceofmind.co.uk. I wanted to create a little short series of videos that I'll release each week, going right back to the basics, the fundamentals about how we work as human beings. Because there's something about understanding how we work, how we all work, how every human being is the same, that somehow gives us a freedom from our experience of anxiety. I'll explain the mechanics of that a little bit later in future videos, but for now I just want you to consider the idea that simply by watching this little series of videos that I'll be doing and considering what I'm talking to you about how it works, and chances are this will be very different to how you think you work, but if you're willing to consider what might be some quite controversial ideas that I'm going to suggest to you, without you doing anything other than that, you'll find your anxiety starting to lift, starting to dissolve, starting to shift away without you having to do anything about it, right? Without you having to have any strategies or coping mechanisms or even exercises or techniques or things to do between the videos. Just watch. So the first thing, and these are just bite-sized, right? So they're like a piece of the picture, but I wanted to keep it small and bite-sized for you. So the first thing is that a client will come into me and tell me about, for example, their workplace, right? So they'll say, but my job is really stressful. I have emails, I have a team to manage, I have managers above me that are always giving me jobs and responsibilities. There is simply not enough time in the day to do all the jobs that I need to do. This is a high pressure job and it's making me feel, oh, hang on, I'll put his head on upside down. It's making me feel like my head's upside down. It's making me feel very sad and anxious and like my head's upside down, right? So because of the workplace that I have, I can't sleep at night, I'm having palpitations, I am totally overwhelmed, I am stressed, I am absolutely freaking out, I'm not doing as well as I could be at work, I'm dropping the ball, horrible to my kids, to my family. So anyway, so can you please help me change what's going on at work? So either help me leave my job, because then I'd be okay, right? Then I could stop thinking about it. Help me put in place some really good strategies and productivity tools so I can actually catch up and get on top of all of this. Could you teach me some leadership skills so that I can manage my team better and manage my managers better, right? Can you give me some email inbox strategies, right, to deal with this very real situation? Everyone at work knows that we work really hard. Everyone knows that my job is a high pressure job. All my staff and team members agree. They all seem to be struggling the same that I am. So how can you help me cope better with this high pressure job? One of the fundamental things at the heart of this understanding that I share with my clients is that the only thing that we can ever experience is thought. If you consider it for a moment, how can an email inbox get into your head and make you feel overwhelmed? Like, what's the mechanism? How could that work that way? Like, what's the mechanism for that? It's simply just not possible. How can your boss, even if they're shouting angrily in the corner, how can that get in and tweak your brain chemistry? I don't know, like I just can't understand the mechanism by which that would work. And yet we all assume it works that way, that things in the world outside of us can make us feel a certain way. And what I'm suggesting to you, that the only thing you're feeling is thought. You're not overwhelmed by your email inbox, you're overwhelmed by thought. You're not overwhelmed by your boss, you're overwhelmed by thought. You're not overwhelmed by time pressure, you're overwhelmed by thought. Now, if you're willing to even consider this, that my thinking is what I'm up against. My experience of the world is being created through thought, and I'm thinking it up that way? Nah, definitely not. Everyone agrees with me. This is a high pressure job. You should see my email inbox. Take a look at this. You can, yeah, but, right? And you probably will, because what I'm trying to share and point you to is something that is not the way we think that it works. But I'd love you to consider for a moment. And the upside to considering is peace of mind and mental health and well-being, right? To discover this fact to be true. But don't take my word for it. Go check it out for yourself. So is it true that you are experiencing, for example, your email inbox? I'm talking about email inbox, but here insert child, husband, health, travel, workplace, whatever is your thing that you think is stressing you out right now or is problematic to you right now. Could it be true that the only thing that you are experiencing is thought and then feeling that thinking? So while you're creating through thought this experience of a stressy, overwhelming workplace, that's what you're going to feel. Guarantee you, that's what you're going to feel. But the only thing you're feeling is thought. And you're thinking it up that way, and you don't have to keep doing that. Now, this is not an exercise in positive thinking and reframing and finding the silver lining and having more positive thoughts about your workplace. And I'll explain more to you about that in part 2. But for now, I just want to keep it really simple and bite-sized. So what is it that you are experiencing? Is it thought, or is it real things in the outside world? I'll be back with you with part 2 next week.